Okay. Perfect. So, second graders, today our lesson is number 3. And it seems like the first chapter and now this chapter, whenever we have our lesson that is number 3, it is usually a problem-solving strategy. Guys, I'm up here. In case you're looking for Mrs. Murphy, I'm up here.
Maybe I can see you.
Where's Mrs. Murphy? There she is.
Okay, now we're going to learn a new problem-solving strategy. And today, our problem-solving strategy is to find a pattern. Now, yesterday and on Monday, we looked at a hundreds chart and we found patterns when we counted by 2s, when we counted by 5s, and when we counted by 10s. So we're trying to find patterns. So I'm going to play a little video that's going to talk about how to find a pattern. Okay? All right, here we go.
Patterns are found everywhere in our world. Patterns can be repeated items, shapes, colors, images, or numbers. Sometimes a set of these are repeated to create a pattern. Some math problems can be solved by finding a pattern. Sometimes the patterns are obvious, such as with this visual pattern. This problem asks, what comes next in the pattern? Remember, a pattern means repeated images. In this case, there's a car, a house, a car, a house. What comes next?
Car.
Right, a car. That was fairly easy to find. Sometimes the pattern is not so clear, such as in this word problem. A florist puts 2 flowers in a vase on Monday, 4 flowers on Tuesday, 6 flowers on Wednesday, and 8 flowers on Thursday. If this pattern continues, how many flowers will he put into a vase on Friday? This problem is tricky because there aren't any pictures to help us out. That's because it's a numeric, or number pattern. Let's find the pattern. Here's the pattern so far. 2, 4, 6, and 8. What comes next to complete the pattern? Well, what is really happening in this pattern? Each day, the florist adds 2 more flowers to the vase than he added the day before. The pattern is counting by 2s. So, 2 plus 2 gave the florist 4. 4 plus 2 gave the florist 6. 6 plus 2 gave the florist 8 flowers. That means we need to add 2 to 8 to give us 10.
Good job.
Yes, the pattern is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Look for patterns in your world and in word problems to help you solve them. And keep practicing solving word problems in our games. Thanks for watching, and always be clever.
Okay, I'm going to have Raylan help Mrs. Murphy pass these out. So today we're going to practice the strategy on finding a pattern. And her last example of finding a pattern in a word problem is what we're going to work on today. So Raylan, would you come up here and help Mrs. Murphy? You get this half and I'll get this half. And once you get your paper, write your name on it. That side.
Who do we appreciate?
Hey, raise your hand if you did not get one. Did anyone not get one? Ingrid did? Did anyone accidentally get 2?
Me.
No, Lewis. Don't shout that unless you really.
I did.
Thank you. Thank you, Tyson. Tyson and Ingrid, I'll flip you up. Okay. Now, name at the top. So we're gonna practice what we just learned in the video. We're gonna we're gonna read this word problem. Callie puts 5 party favors in each bag. She has 6 bags. How many favors does she need in all? So the first step when solving this problem is we need to understand. You gotta understand the problem. What are they asking? Well, we need to underline what you know. So look up here. They underlined that we know Kelly put 5 party favors in each bag. We know that. And then we also underlined she has 6 bags. We also know that. We're going to circle what we want, what you need to find. And what we need to find is always the question. And most of the time in a story problem, guess where the question is at?
Beginning.
Addie?
The beginning.
No.
Ending.
Raylan?
And
It's always at the end. So at the end is the question, and it starts with how. How many favors does she need in all? So we will circle that, because that is what we're going to find out. Now, our second step is a plan. How will we solve this problem? I want to see everybody's eyes up here. Nobody should be writing, because you should all have your name on your paper already. How could we solve this problem? There's lots of different ways. What could we do? Ingrid, we could count by 5s. We could skip count and count by 5s. Definitely, that's one way. What's another way we could do it? Addie?
We could take maybe a whiteboard, ruler, or a number counter, and we could take it and we start by 5 and we start counting by what just Ingrid.
Okay, so very similar to Ingrid, but you said to use a ruler. We could use like a hundreds chart to help us if we need to. Any other ideas? Louis?
Our number line would help us,
Yeah.
but it's not up there because we keep
But
forgetting.
that would help us. Riley? Riley, what are you going to say? Did you forget? Okay, another way, put your hands on. Another way is you could draw a picture too. And that's a way that Mrs. Murphy likes to use a lot. But in this case, I don't think we need to draw a picture because that would be a lot. But we can skip count. Or what we did yesterday, if you guys remember, we made these little lines to help us when we were skip counting. So this is bag 1, bag 2, bag 3, bag 4, bag 5, bag 6. And then we skip counted. The first bag had 5. The second bag had another 5, which is 10. The third bag had another 5, that's 15. The fourth bag had another 5, that's 20. The fifth bag had another 5, which is 25. And the sixth bag had another 5, and that's 30. So there's 30 in all. Can you guys go ahead and trace that with your pencil right now?
Yep.
Now, the fourth step is always to check, is your answer reasonable or does it make sense? If Mrs. Murphy started at 1 and went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I counted by 1s, I would look at my problem and say, that's not right, that's not reasonable. So always double check your work. Does it make sense? Okay? All right, when you have that traced, I want you to flip your page over to the next page, and on it, we are going to practice this strategy. And on the top, you should see some tickets. Okay. All right. We're going to practice this strategy. So, it says, Katie and Pedro count the tickets. child, the first step in our problem is to understand it, and we need to underline the information we know. What do we already know that we should underline? What do you think, Libby? What do we already know? You keep thinking, Wyatt, what do we already know?
They sold 10 tickets.
Oh,
Yes.
good. They sold 10 tickets. So with your pencil right now, we're going to underline exactly what Wyatt said. They sold 10 tickets each day. Don't forget that. Not 10 tickets total, but 10 tickets each day. So with your pencil, underline this sentence. They sold 10 tickets each day. Now there's something else that's important information. Lewis? We got the number 10 here, but we need another number.
I know,
Lewis, 5. For 5 days. So underline right here for 5 days. Now, we have our information. We need to figure out, what do we need to find? What are we trying to find out? Aria,
How many?
Aria. No, I'm looking at Aria. Aria, what's our question? How
How many tickets
were,
sold?
how many tickets were sold? That's our question. That's what we're trying to figure out. So right now, circle that, because that is what we're trying to figure out. Now the second step is we're going to plan it. Who thinks they have an idea of how we can solve this problem? Brooklyn, what do you think we could do?
So, you can go 10, 5, 10,
Why would you go 5?
I think 10, 12.
Oh, wait. Why would you go 12? They're selling 10 every day. So the, Brooklyn thinks we should skip count. I agree with her. So, let's solve it like Brooklyn said. Let's skip count. The first one day is 10. So the first day we sold 10. So that's where they put that little line for you.
I thought it was 2, 4, 6, 8.
Well, we sold 10 a day. We're not selling 2 a day. We're selling 10 tickets. So that's why we're starting with 10. And then Brooklyn said we have 20. That's the second day. And then the third day would be 30.
40.
And the next day would be 40. And the last day would be 50. I don't have an extra paper.
You can see it from the back.
You're gonna have to sun the counter, let it dry, and then you'll have to finish it later. I don't have an extra paper. That's why we don't drink when we're working. We only take drinks, Wyatt, when we're not working. Just think about it, guys. Do I ever just sit up here and drink while I'm teaching?
No.
If I can't do that, then you guys can't do that either. Libby, you're gonna have to clean it up. I'm in the middle of lesson, then you're gonna have to finish it during snack time and movie. Okay, because I don't have an extra paper. Kind of lesson learned.
Miss Murphy.
Okay, by day 5, how many tickets were sold in all, Lewis?
50.
50. Now, let's check our answer. Does that make sense, second graders?
Yes.
So we did the right thing. Okay, now, you guys are on a roll. We're going to apply this strategy. Turn to the next page.
What
just wait. I'm not there yet. Okay? So we're gonna do the top one first, and then we'll figure out the bottom, and there's a back page, okay? So let's first do the top. So we're gonna practice this strategy. All right, I'm gonna read it, and then you think, what should we underline? So as I'm reading, think what we need to underline. What do we know? Xavier is looking at a map of the desert. He knows that each finger width is about 10 miles. How many miles will he count if he uses 7 finger widths? So this is your width of your finger. So we will learn this in math skills very quickly. But whenever we are measuring on a map, sometimes like the width of our finger, that's going to equal 10 miles. So what do we need to underline? I'm going to call on somebody else because I know you're participating. John.
70.
What number did you say, bud?
70.
Where? I don't see. Oh, that's the answer. Okay, you have the right answer, John. Can you tell Mrs. Murphy what we need to underline first? What do we need to underline?
10 miles.
10 miles. Thank you, John. Everybody underline 10 miles. What's another thing we need to underline? LES. We got 10 miles underlined.
How many miles?
Oh, that's the question. Well, we shouldn't underline the question. We got to circle the question. We need to know one more thing, though. Raylan, what's the one more thing we need to know?
The 7th thing. That's how I'm saying it.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Raylan. She just remembered that's what she meant. Is that what you meant to say? The 7. You're right. So 7 fingers. Now, Ellie kind of knew the question was how many. So right now, I need you to circle the very last sentence, which is a question. How many miles will he count if he uses 7 finger widths? Now, Lewis,
70.
you and John have the answer 70. How did you guys get to it? What was your plan? How did you figure that out? Let me ask John, and then let me ask you. John, what did you do?
I bent my fingers and I counted by 10.
Oh, John did his fingers. He went
By
1.
my
Oh, you went by your thumb, so you went 1. Did you go like this? 2.
this one.
Okay, so John just pretended on his desk. You went 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. That was a great way to solve that problem. Louis, how'd you do it?
I think in my brain.
You thought in your head. Did you count by 10s in your brain? So Louis counted in his brain by 10s. Did anyone else have another idea? Tyson?
You can count by 5.
Can't count by 5s. Tyson, you need to put on your mask, please. Correctly. Raylan, what did you do?
If you have 10 and you do 10 7 times, you have 70.
Okay, so did you write it down or did you just do it in your head?
Yeah.
Just in your head? Okay. Did anyone write it down?
No.
No? You guys are just so smart. You can skip count in your head. Brooklyn, what'd you do?
I went like this. I did 1 on like the, I did like this 1, and then 2 and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then all the way to 7 by 10 by 10.
Okay, that would work. And Addie, how'd you do it?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
If you have 10
6, 7,
and you add 7, I know it's 17, but if you go the complete opposite, it's still gonna be 17, but then if you think more, then it can be 7 because
Yeah.
you have 7 and then you have 10. You basically need 70 just taking out the 1 and
Right, right. But you're not adding your 10 and 7 because that would get you the wrong answer. Or Mrs. Murphy showed you how you could write it down like we did on the other page. Okay,
5,
Corla, did you have one more idea?
9,
do we have to write that?
No, Corla asked, do you have to write this? No. Mrs. Murphy just wanted to show you this is another way you could do it because most of you did this problem in your head. LES?
Oh, are we gonna do the...
Oh, I'm not there yet. Not there yet.
One skip.
Brooklyn,
I did like,
John, turn around, please.
Wiley.
I thought about
Wiley,
doing
look
it,
at
I'm like, no, that's too easy.
Okay. All right, now onto the brain builder. Would you nicely X that up at the bottom?
Even the three? Even number
How did
three?
you do this?
Yes.
X off the bottom, 2 and 3, please. Where's your answer? You can do it with Mrs. Stewart today during the movie. Okay, now we have one last page. Flip it to the back, please. And we are going to do this page because we're going to review the strategies, okay? Because you guys will be seeing story problems a lot in second grade where we have to use these strategies. Okay, so turn to the back where you see number 4 where it says Justin. Okay, everybody on the back? On number 4, it says Justin is stacking books. So think about somebody stacking books. There are 5 books in the first stack. 10 books in the second stack. The third stack has 15 books. The pattern continues. How many books will be in the next stack?
1, 2, 3.
Eli, what do you think you could do to solve this problem?
You can use a pattern and stack all. You can use like the numbers.
Okay, the numbers. What would be the first number you would use, Eli?
10.
I don't think I'd use 10 first. Because 10 is in the second stack.
Oh.
5.
Yeah, I would use 5 first because that's in the first stack. And then what is in the second stack, Eli?
10.
Now the second stack is 10.
And now the third stack.
And what is the third stack?
15.
15. And so if we're looking at this pattern, Eli, what would be in the fourth stack?
20.
20. And 20 books would be our answer. So right there, we skip counted. You could have done it in your head. Mrs. Murphy wanted to write it out to show you the pattern. Because sometimes you can't always think of it right away in your head. Because Eli at first started with 10. And I said, wait a minute. No, that's not right. That's not quite right to our pattern. Because I knew 10 was the second one. So he had missed the first one. Carla. The commas, you don't have to have the commas, but the commas just kind of separate it. So you don't have to, but. Okay, you got number 4 down. That was pretty easy. Let's go on to number 5. Oh, and guess what we forgot to do on that one, guys?
What?
We forgot to underline the information. Can you guys underline 5, 10, and 15 quick? Can you guys underline those really quickly? We forgot to do that. We always need to do that first. Mrs. Murphy kind of circled it, but. And then, can you circle the question, how many books will be in the next
Miss
stack?
Murphy.
Because we forgot to circle the question.
We do this.
Underline 10, 5, and 15. And then circle your question. Like this. Can you do that? That's what I want you to do. Sorry, I forgot to do that. That was my mistake.
Yeah, you're silly.
Thank you, guys. We should have done that first. You guys will have to remind me next time. All right.
Don't forget next time, Miss Murphy.
All right, Mrs. Murphy is going to go on to number 5, and I won't forget this time. On number 5, I'll read it, and you think right away, what should we underline?
6.
Lewis, think, not say. Number 5. On the first day of the food drive, Miss Buckles' class collected 8 cans. Mr. Klein's class collects 6 cans.
Am I drawing?
Mrs. Brown's class collects 5 cans. How many cans do they collect in all?
Am I drawing or not?
Ellie, what do we need to underline? Ellie, what should we underline? Yep. On the first day of the food drive, Miss Buckles' class collects 8 cans. Mr. Klein's class collects 6 cans. And Mrs. Brown's class collects 5 cans. Ellie, what do you think we need to underline? Ingrid, help her out. Watch, Ellie.
5.
Okay, 5. What else do we need to underline, Ingrid? And Mrs. Murphy's going to put a 5. What else?
6 and 8.
6. And then an 8. That's how many cans they are collecting. Now, my question is what? Allie, what's my question?
20.
Okay, that's not my question, that's my answer. And it's not quite my answer. My question is what?
8.
Yes, my question is how many cans do they collect in all? Everybody underline in all. So if I'm finding in all, what does that tell me I have to do with these numbers? Addie?
Add them all together.
Add them. So right now, if you wrote your numbers like Mrs. Murphy did, put your addition sign, and then put an equal sign. Oh boy. Think right now, guys. 5 plus 6, that's a doubles plus 1. So that would be 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 1 more is 11. Now, I want 11 plus 8. So if I say 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Miss Murphy, if you called on me, I was going to say that.
Oh, good. So 19 in all. And show me your work right down there.
Miss Murphy.
Show me your work.
Miss Murphy.
Show me your work, second graders. After this next one. Okay, the last problem. We're going to do this in 2 minutes because Mrs. Johnson's going to be here in 5. All right, on the last one, Josh recorded how many inches of snow fell in each month. Continue the pattern. How many inches fell in January? We have a chart, and we talked about this reading today. The chart helps us with our information from our text. So look at November. November had 14 inches. December had 16. We don't know January. But February had 20. What is the pattern, Corla?
18.
18. How did you know that, Corla?
It goes 2, 4, 6, 8.
Good job. Corla saw it's going like 2, 4, 6. Just so that'd be 8. And if you were counting, it'd be 14, skip 15, 16, skip 17, 18, skip 19, 20. That's another way to do it too. If you don't know, you could try to like skip count.
Done.
Okay? All right.